don't think there are people in coal mines?
Not with listening to radio.
Yes, they are. These places now have ways for them to do things like that. Where do you think the coal mines are? Mars?
How dare you position me as anti-coal mine? That's not right. And that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about media people drove across town. I know I'm not working as hard as some of these.
Nick, by the way, I have a show. I hope
people.
you know this, Nick, where a good chunk of my listeners are coal miners. Did you know that, Nick?
I ain't never had nothing against coal mines.
I was trying to coach Herm. What'd you ask?
Never in my life.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. This show will not be anti-coal. I just want to be clear about that.
If you lose coal, you lose America. That's what I've always heard.
You certainly lose Kentucky. All right, who's up next on our list of nice fans before I get to this Eagles game? Let's go to Bo in Nashville. What do you got, Bo?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm calling from the Nashville coal mine here. Really, they call it Hoosier hospitality for a reason. I think the Indianapolis Colts have a great fan base.
Yeah,
you never see anything about social media.
I don't want to hear it. So,
Colts fans are great.
Indianapolis fans are like going to a state-run gas station on the side of the road in Connecticut.
No,
it's
you
the
just
most
don't like
generic
Indianapolis
thing in the world. No offense to Colts fans. The reason you all are nice is it's like eating at Applebee's. It's a pleasant experience because it has no character, Myron.
It's great. The fans are amazing. They're very nice, hospitable. I love Indianapolis, and I think the fans are amazing.
I'm telling you, you're the kind of person that goes into the Apple store and goes, wow, these people are all being so nice to me. Yeah, that's why, because it's generic.
Oh, I'm sorry for being a human being. Is that something you're still working on in life? Is that still something you're trying to
I'm just not going to act like when I go into Walmart, when the greeter greets me, he actually likes me.
I'm sorry that
I know that's what he's supposed to do.
Oh, you want me to walk in with my laptop and throw it across the table like you probably do and say, hey, I can't start my Windows 95. Will somebody help me? Is that what you want me to do?
I'm
sorry, I don't do that.
I'm still on Windows 95. Eagles at the Bucks today. The Eagles are 2.5-point favorite in Tampa Bay. Tampa won last year 32-9, a 23-point victory. It was the second largest postseason loss for the Eagles in history, in franchise history. Jalen Hurts has thrown interception in 7 straight games. The Bucs looked great in the first 2 weeks, came back to earth by taking a very disappointing loss last week at home to the Broncos. What do you see happening today in Tampa Bay?
It's a big game for both teams, I think, for different reasons. I mean, the Bucs losing to the Broncos was unexpected. They looked terrible after having a really good opening stretch. So now if you're the Bucs, you're trying to kind of get out of that, get a big win against Philly would make people forget what happened last week. And then if you're Jalen Hurts, both your top receivers are out, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. So there's even more pressure on you. But I don't want to do the thing with Jalen Hurts where people go, well, look at the injuries. Because if you do that for him, you got to do that for Brock Purdy. And you got to do that for Matthew Stafford. And you got to do that for all of these other teams. Geno Smith, there are injuries all across that franchise. We cannot give Jalen Hurts these big passes when there are multiple quarterbacks in this league who have also lost top targets. So the expectation still has to be for him to win, even under the circumstances.
Saquon Barkley is first from scrimmage touchdowns and second in yards this season. Obviously a big pickup during the offseason. The general consensus in football is running backs don't really matter, but maybe there's a couple that do. Saquon, I think people thought maybe wasn't one that could still matter. Do you think he can keep this production up all season long?
I mean, I think he has to for them to have a chance to get to a Super Bowl. And I think what you're saying is when you surround Saquon with talent and it's not just on him, things go really well. At the same time, this feels like a Giants game for him because he is going to be the main guy and the main target. So we'll see if he holds up. If he ends up carrying that load
this early in the year? No. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of thought, why did they pay that money? They could have done something else with it. It looks like it worked.
But, like, healthy Saquon has been a great player. Like, I don't know what people were missing, and I think now he's in the right situation. But today is one of those games where you go, this might feel like he's back on the Giants because of the load he's going to have to carry. And then the fear for Jalen Hurts, Matt, is will he make throw a big interception at the wrong time? Because that's the kind of thing that can change the momentum in a game like this, too.
One person writes in the text machine, Myron's the kind of person who goes to certain dance establishments and thinks they're really into him. That's not very nice. That is not a very nice thing for the person on the text machine to say, Myron.
You know something? I woke up and was having a good day, and then I don't. What did I do? Did I say something to offend people to take shots at me? Because I thought I was being, nice to people.
I'm just saying. I criticize Indianapolis, and you end up with the angry text. That's just the way it goes. Herm Edwards is going to join us. That'll be next. We'll ask him which fan base he liked or didn't like the most. That's right here next on ESPN Radio.
Greeny.
Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels have the skills, talent, have everything it takes to be great. We throw these kids out there to sink or swim week one.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This is an ad from BetterHelp. As kids, we were always learning and growing, but at some point as adults, we tend to lose that sense of curiosity and excitement. Therapy can help you continue that journey, because your back-to-school era can come at any age, and BetterHelp makes it easy to get started with affordable online therapy you can do from anywhere. Rediscover possibility with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/teamwork today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/teamwork.
Is it just me? Or does it sound like the universe is sending a message? Maybe it's time to really listen.
Tommy John.
To Tommy John. Tommy John. Tommy John underwear has dozens of comfort innovations like outrageously soft, lightweight fabrics that can keep you 2 to 3 times cooler than regular cotton.
Tommy John. Tommy John.
With thousands of 5-star reviews and over 20 million pairs sold, people love Tommy John. One Tommy John fanatic raves, love the summer weight and breathable fabrics. Just the right support. And everything's backed by Tommy John's best pair you'll ever wear or its free guarantee. Shop Tommy John now for huge summer savings. Get 25% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save 25% at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And on Sirius XM Channel 80. This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bankin. It is week 4 in the NFL, and several teams are hoping to get some of their walking wounded back on this Sunday. Jordan Love is expected to return today for the Packers at quarterback when they face the undefeated Vikings. While ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting another quarterback appears ready to go despite dealing with an injured ankle. The Chargers' Justin Herbert is expected to play today against the Chiefs. Adam Schefter also reporting for Saints fans some good news. Despite dealing with injuries, running back Alvin Kamara and receiver Chris Olave are both expected to play against the Falcons this afternoon. Houston running back Joe Mixon is out again with an ankle injury. Meanwhile, it's Football Sunday on ESPN Radio and on select ESPN Radio affiliates. You've got the Eagles and Bucks with coverage getting underway at noon Eastern. The Eagles are 2-1, but are banged up early this season. Safety Reed Blankenship talked about his team's approach.
Like I said, defense is going to give up plays, offense is going to give up plays. That's football at the end of the day. But, man, like I said, as long as we come to the sideline and say we got each other's back, man, let's just roll, man. Just put the ball down. And that's how we're kind of going into, each game. That's our mentality.
Tackle Lane Johnson is out today for Philadelphia as he continues to recover from a concussion. Our second game, which kicks off the coverage at 4 Eastern, is the Patriots and the 49ers from San Francisco. The regular season wraps up for baseball today. 2 wild card spots are still up for grabs in the National League. The Braves can get one with a win over the Royals or a loss by the Diamondbacks at the hands of the Padres. Arizona and the Mets are a game back. New York is in Milwaukee. WNBA playoffs continue today. Semifinal action, 3 p.m. Eastern, ABC Vegas at New York. Later, Connecticut plays at Minnesota on ESPN.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Monday, Bills, Ravens, and Georgia-Bama are just 2 of the huge matchups going on this weekend, and I'll react to it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
I'm ready to play football. And I've been waiting a long time for this moment.
The time is here! The time is now!
This is the Countdown to Kickoff on ESPN Radio.
It is Countdown to Kickoff here on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN. Had some good calls early as we talked about what fan bases were nice. Myron just keeps getting ripped on Twitter, which I don't really think is fair. Because,
on Twitter?
Well, no, the text machine. But I don't think it's fair. Myron's a good dude, so I'm going to give him a segment off without reading.
I ain't worried about those people. Let them say what they want. I don't care.
Herm Edwards is our ESPN NFL analyst. We love Herm. He's back today, and Herm, we were just talking about in the last segment about fans.
Oh.
Which NFL fan base do you think is the nicest, and which do you think is the meanest?
Oh, the nicest is what I would say be Green Bay.
Green Bay, okay.
Packers. Until you leave. And then once you leave and you go on the bus going back, they moon you. They actually moon you. They show you their backside. Whether you win or lose, they moon you. Bye-bye.
All right, so they're the nicest. Then who's the meanest?
Oh, the meanest. Who would I say? It used to be. Not anymore. They're because they moved to L.A. It used to be
Oakland.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
You talking about going in the black hole of darkness? Yeah. Oh, man. It was so much fun playing the Raiders outside. Because I grew up on the West Coast, obviously, and played against the Raiders when I was with the Eagles and stuff and going there. But just going there, it was like, are you kidding me, man? That black hole was real now. It swallowed you up.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Great fan base.
I'm curious. We talked about this off air a little bit. I'm in Minnesota. I did the Vikings game last weekend for ESPN Radio. Sam Darnold is playing the best football of his life. Some people think it's Kevin O'Connell. Some people think it's all the weapons. But if he keeps playing like this, what do you do at the end of the season with him?
Tell him to calm down. He has the Vikings as the third best team in the NFL, just for the record.
I don't think there's an argument against that, Herm. I really don't. I think it's Kansas City, Buffalo, Minnesota.
They're playing really well. I want to see how they play today, but you're right. I mean,
no, he's not.
Coach Flores has done a really good job with this defense, and Sam Darnold is playing well. I mean, but there's the but. Someone asked me about that today, and I said, look, I like him. I don't trust him yet.
Me either.
Not yet. Even though they're 3-0. But it's just, I want to see. I just want to keep seeing, and this is an interesting division with Detroit, obviously the favorite in this division when the season started. And the Packers now Love is back. So this is a big game for Minnesota playing the Packers.
The Bills and the Ravens tonight, I think this is the second and third best team playing. I think the Chiefs are the best. was very impressed with what Lamar did in a must-win game last week. Favorite again this week. But that defense has kind of let him down a little bit, Herm. I mean, giving up 25 points or more in every game so far. Is it going to be on Lamar this year for the Ravens to have a shot?
Yeah, this is not the Ray Lewis defense of old. It's just not. And we've seen that in numerous games now. And I think Lamar understands that. I think Derrick Henry is kind of solidified why they brought him there. He showed up last week. I mean, finally they gave him the ball, and I think that offense will run through these two players along with the tight ends. I think the tight ends get overlooked at times, with the Ravens. But I say this, this is a team that, they're going to play, obviously, the Buffalo Bills. I like the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen right now, he's
favorite for MVP
right now.
Yeah.
Right now, because the way he's playing. So this is going to be a unique game. Both defenses have a problem containing these quarterbacks because they can make a lot of plays when they're unannounced.
You got the Cowboys getting ready to face Pitt at Pitt.
Oh,
then they host Detroit. They go to San Francisco. They go to Atlanta. Then they host Philly and Houston. And then on November 24th, they go and play Jaden Daniels. What are the chances that Mike McCarthy doesn't make it through that stretch with the Cowboys?
Well, I hope he does. I think Mike's a good coach. I just think that he's at a place where expectations are sometimes bigger than life with these Cowboys. They've been inconsistent as we've watched. Where do they go from here? Look, they're a team that every year we seem to look at them and go, yeah, well, they're going to get in the playoffs and see what happens. And now all of a sudden, that home field advantage they have, it's kind of not a home field advantage anymore. Teams have gone in there and beaten them. But they got enough talent, guys. That's what the Cowboys have. They have enough talent. If they can get into one of those 7-on-7 games where the defense is playing with a lead, you got a problem. Because they can come get you defensively. They can rush you.
But they've given up a lot of points these last two games at home. I mean, for all the talk about the defense, they've given up 69 points in the last two games.
That's what I'm saying. Because if the offense got they got to score some points for them because this is a defense that they want to take the ball away. They want to knock the quarterback down. That's how they play. But you're right. Teams have gotten there. All of a sudden, somebody figured out the code, right?
Yeah, especially early in the games. They jump up on them early in both these games.
And that's a problem. Dallas wants to dictate the terms.
Let me ask you just a big picture problem. I ran this little celebrity survivor league, which I forgot to ask you to be in, Herm, because I don't have your number. At some point, you got to give me.
Is this fantasy football and stuff like that?
No. It's survivor leagues. Like every week, you just have to pick one team to win. All they have to do is win, and then you can't use any team twice all year.
Okay.
This year, I had 50 people in it. And it's already over in week 3 because there were so many upsets. Everybody, so many upsets. This has been the most teams in history who were favored by 5 or more to lose in the first 3 weeks in the history of the NFL. Do you think there's something? I mean, some people are arguing, look, no, people don't really play in the preseason, not sure about off-season training. Do you think this parity we've seen, which has been amazing, just teams, huge underdogs going on the road and winning, is that something you expect to see all year, or do you think it's just, look, first 2 or 3 weeks that happens?
We said this already. We had this discussion earlier. We said the first 3 or 4 games like preseason games. And whatever you're looking at, don't worry about it because it's not who they are. As we get through, next month, after about week 5, it'll start settling in. And, we used to always say, even when I was a player, the bad teams, they don't know they're bad yet. Because everybody's kind of playing. They don't really know that, we're okay. But there comes a point, probably in about week 7, when you're a bad team, you're a bad team. You just know it. You go, okay, we got a problem. And the good teams kind of, they start kind of leaving you, and then all of a sudden you got, because right now everybody's got hope.
So you don't expect to see a Raiders team, the equivalent of a Raiders team, go into Baltimore and win in week 10?
Yeah, no. Okay. It's just early, you don't know. And we keep saying that. And you mentioned it again, that good old preseason. They don't play, guys. This is another factor, too. All these injuries are happening now. You know why? Because guys are they're playing tackle football at full speed during the regular season. That's all they get. They don't do it in the preseason anymore because they don't play. They wear the baseball hats. They want to be the coach on the sideline. And now these guys are getting injured, right? Football's a full speed deal, and you got to play it. You can't just wait till the season starts and say, well, I'm going to go play. Okay, you go play. But the grass knows when you haven't been involved. And when these guys don't get involved in the preseason, it looks like this.
You got a guy in Philly who's obviously dealing with injuries, Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith. With all of these quarterbacks who are losing big targets early in the season, how much more pressure does that put on that position right now?
Well, it puts a lot of pressure on the position of quarterback, right? Because you go and the team goes how you play. And when injuries occur, obviously that's a problem. You know what? And you know what's funny about this, guys? Think about this. There's been a lot of field goals made early this season. And you know who's starting to come back into play?
The kicker.
The kicker, and guess who? Guess what other position?
I thought I had that one.
No, the kicker.
I thought I got it right.
You know, a position that we say, it's not. It's about the quarterback. No, it's not. The running back showing up again.
Yeah.
The runner is showing up. It's amazing. The old running back is showing up.
Why do you think that's the case? Because there is definitely a difference. Saquon, like guys, Derrick Henry, even Saquon's replacement, Singletary, like they've mattered this year.
Well, because most people play light guys in the box. Why? Because it's a passing league.
Okay.
And so now you're turning around and saying, you know what? To get my offense going early, let's just run the ball and see what it looks like. And all of a sudden, teams are kind of leaning on the run a little bit more, right? And I think you got to do that early in the season because right now, everybody's just kind of like they don't know who they are. The easiest thing to do in football is turn around and give it to the back. Just get hand to him and see what happens, right?
Last question, we'll let you go.
Sure.
Caleb Williams, or Jaden Daniels looked amazing on Monday night. Looked amazing. I know you know him well.
Yes.
He looked unbelievable. And that, of course, then leads people to say, well, wait a minute, Caleb Williams hasn't looked like that. Do you just say, okay, different situations? Do you compare them at all? Do guys go on different speeds? Like, how do you look at the difference between the 1 and 2 picks so far?
I think they're using Jaden correctly, right? Cliff Kingsbury knows Jaden's strengths. He was in Arizona when Jaden was at Arizona State. He had a quarterback similar to him, Kyler Murray, a guy that could run. And he understands what Jaden does well, and this is what he can do. I've said it numerous times. He can throw the deep ball now, guys. I mean, it's just he's very accurate. I mean, very accurate with it. So Cliff saw him play in college. He was right next door. Cliff played for me. He was like the fourth quarterback I had when he got all those guys injury. So I think he can handle this. Jaden can also extend plays with his legs. But I've talked to him numerous times. I said, look, man, you got to beat people from the pocket. Show people you can throw the football. And I said, stop. I said, will you please slide when you go down? And he, okay, because he don't like sliding. But I said, you got to slide, man. You got to protect yourself. But if you're a Washington fan right now, you're excited about your football team because you have a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, you definitely do. Herm Edwards, always a lot of fun. Glad. So it looks like the Herm I love is back. Last week I felt like you were mad at me.
No, I
was just going. That's all.
You just didn't seem as happy last week. Now, this is the Herm I like out here, like, talking trash, etc.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. You can tune in for a football doubleheader today. The Bucs host the Eagles, followed by the Patriots at the 49ers. Coverage begins at noon Eastern on select ESPN radio stations. Could there be one off-season trade that teams are already regretting? That's next here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Football Sunday on ESPN Radio. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Touchdown, Jalen Hurts.
Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Baker Mayfield over the middle, touchdown.
Both 2-1 and going head-to-head in Tampa. Coverage begins at noon Eastern with kickoff at 1 Eastern on select ESPN radio stations.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
College football fans, what's the best part of being at a game live? The color. There's nothing more exciting than seeing an entire stadium completely decked out in your team's colors. So why not add to that and put yourself right in the middle of it all? Because that color encompasses everything, from the tailgating and the fight songs to the marching band halftime shows. So let your true colors show and get ready to yell and cheer until you're blue in the face by scoring tickets today at Ticketmaster. Get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com.
Mike Greenberg, Greeny.
If all you're looking at are Justin Fields' big picture numbers, then you're missing the story. He's playing well. He has played better than his numbers would appear. He has also done the opposite of what he has always been worst at. He has not made the mistakes that cost his team. And when you're playing on a team that has an elite defense, which the Steelers do, that's as important as anything.
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app. Chris Carlin, Joe Fortenbaugh. This is Carlin versus Joe.
Joe Tessitore. When do you switch gears from wrestling to college football?
No, there is no switching gears.
Okay.
It never stops. Every second of my week is just bouncing between the two. It's pick up the phone and have one conversation with an offensive coordinator while I'm texting or on the phone with Paul Heyman. It's nonstop.
Carlin versus Joe. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
We told you so!
No days off when you love what you're doing. Sundays are the best day of the week because you're just one day away from First Take returning Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Monday Night Football gears up for another double lineup. On ESPN at 7:15, DeAndre Hopkins and the Titans head to South Beach to take on Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins. And on ABC at 8, DK Metcalf and the Seahawks face Jared Goff and the Lions in Motown. Titans-Dolphins Monday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And Seahawks-Lions at 8 on ABC.
And the ESPN app.
Justin Fields lifts the Steelers to 3-0.
Touchdown! Calvin Austin! 55 yards from Fields to Austin.
I know, what kind of player I am. I haven't changed kind of my whole life.
The Steelers are 3-0. Caleb Williams and the Bears have struggled. Two different franchises and heading in different directions. Maybe big games today for both of them. As the Steelers play the Colts, Rams play the Bears. It's countdown to kickoff on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. 888-SAY-ESPN. I think we still got a couple people in the call-in line. I don't want to make them wait because I like to talk to people. Andrew's in Iowa. We get probably more calls per capita from Iowa than any other state on this show. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem. What do you got?
So just my story. So 2 weeks ago, my wife and I, we went to the Packer game. So driving up from Iowa,
we were
took us
there
a while, and we're listening. We're listening to you guys, and I'm like, hey, this will be awesome when we get there. Let's see their how they're set up and what they're doing. She's like, well, you know where they are? I'm like, this is ESPN. They'll have like a big balloon, a big stage. It'll be like easy to find.
Yeah.
And we got up there, and it's like literally walking around for 45 minutes. And finally, my wife goes in this backyard and, where they had the local affiliate from Milwaukee there, and they point and they're like, they're over there. They're at that table over there. I'm like, huh. So So I got a selfie with you guys. It was great to see you, but you need to tell management that they need to stack you guys up like they do for College Game Day.
I agree with you. Thank you very much. They get, the College Game Day radio. Forget about TV. I get it. We don't have McAfee in his T-shirts, and we don't have Nick Saban in his wins. But the College Game Day radio, they get a whole, trailer. And for us, it was like me and Myron, and that was a great setup in that yard. But I need people like my man Andrew to be able to find us, Myron. Get some balloons, maybe, people dancing or something, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not convinced we're at the point to start making demands for these road trips. But
no, I'm just saying.
I'm glad we got a chance to interact with a lot of people, and that was fun.
That was very nice of you, by the way, Andrew, to try to find us. That's good. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be in Dallas in 2 weeks. I appreciate the call. And in Dallas, we don't know where we're going to be yet, but when we know, we'll tell you. And I just saw we got a hotel that I think it has 3 stars. So. Watch out! It's going to be
not up to the 5-star.
I'm just saying,
2 months in Europe budget that you're accustomed to.
I don't know.
Applebee's nearby too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Herb Street is staying at the La Quinta Inn, but
have a traveling butler that you.
Phil is in Virginia Beach. Phil, what do you got?
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing? So,
I'm doing
just
good.
like a lot of people said, pretty good. So you heard it before, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, I was there about 10 years ago as a Bucs fan, and this is the Mike Glennon-led Buccaneers, and we probably won 3 games that year, and one of the games we won was there in Pittsburgh, and they were actually pretty respectful. They shook hands, hey, great game. They were not happy about it because we won on a late drive pass for Mike Glennon to win the game, but
how do you explain then? I get that, but how do you explain the fact that they keep getting in fights in the Cincinnati games if they're so nice?
Well, there's always exceptions. The Ravens, the Bengals, their division is just crazy anyway. I'm sure they're not nice to anybody in their division by default.
Okay.
But as a Tampa fan wearing a big Mike Evans jersey and talking all kind of trash, and we came back and beat them, they were actually surprisingly really respectful.
No,
I appreciate the call, my man.
Yeah, what that story also tells me is Mike Evans has been playing for 25 years. But I think you made a good point. There are exceptions with every fan base. The whole Cincinnati fan base fights. That's the difference. Is every fan base has a couple of scrappy folks who want to get into it. But Cincinnati, top to bottom, the kids fight. And that's where it's a little bit different for you.
You're exactly right. And I'll finish with this quick story. When I, many years ago, went to the Kentucky High School Sweet 16, all the high schools in the state play, Myron. And there's a county deep in eastern Kentucky called Clay County. It's a coal mine county, right? And they had a dude that was like 6'3", 300 pounds playing center. Like, he was huge. Yeah. And he got in a little scrap under the basket. And I look at some of their fans and I go, oh, wow. Will that guy get in a fight? And he looks at me like I'm an idiot, and he goes, buddy, we're from Clay County. We all fight. And I thought, that's Cincinnati right there. There you go, buddy. We're from Cincinnati. We all fight. Steelers and Colts play today. Justin Fields has led the Steelers to a 3-0 start. Steelers trying to start 4-0 for the first time since 2020. Justin Fields has been good. Not overwhelming, but winning the games, which is what matters. Will Russell Wilson ever take that job, or is it just Justin Fields now for the rest of the year?
It's Justin Fields' job, and it may be, next year too. I think they're still going to bring in a young quarterback, but I think he's putting himself in a position to be in that conversation to maybe get another deal, a short-term deal, and to continue to grow. Let's never again, because I heard this before the season, let's never again question Mike Tomlin. There was a little bit of this is the year. I heard that from people. On these airwaves, you know what? There's just not enough. You can't bring in Justin Fields and Russell Wilson and still find a way to win. And you know what he's doing? Winning with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I mean, this is incredible what Mike Tomlin is doing again. And what I can appreciate, Matt, is you can tell that Justin Fields is having fun again. Because I don't think he ever had fun in Chicago but he is certainly enjoying this experience with the Steelers.
I don't think they ever really used him correctly in Chicago. Now, I don't know. I still don't know how good he is in terms of, I think that still remains to be seen. I think he's certainly an NFL quarterback. Is he enough to, like, win a title? Or I don't know about that. But I don't think he was ever used correctly in Chicago. And now and one of the things you can say about Mike Tomlin is I don't care who he has, he'll use them, Myron, the best they can be used. Don't you think?
Yeah. Well, but I think he's also, proof that if you can create a positive environment for players where people like you and you like being where you are, that helps too, especially for a young player who didn't have that in Chicago.
That's exactly right. Now you've got, speaking of Chicago, without Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, he's last in QBR, which isn't good in completion percentage. Bears are 1-2. You can make an argument, though, they could have, should have won all the games.